Hey guys, Trey Campbell here. Wanted to make a quick on-screen video just to recap a certain trade that I was involved with on July 9th, 2018. I want to break this down for myself and for anybody else that wants to watch it, just to show that we're all human. We all make mistakes. I really screwed up on this trade. I'll show you a broker statement in just a second. And this is why I'm making a video. This is probably the biggest loss I've ever taken on a trade. And it's completely embarrassing to the point where I have to make a video because I always want to break down all of my bad trades anyway. But this one was so epic, and I was so just completely dumb on this trade. I did not follow my plan. I did not follow my structure of the way that my plan is designed, and it cost me. It cost me dearly. But I want to go over it, as embarrassing as it is, because I want people to see what the cost of averaging down with. Building a position and averaging down are two totally different scenarios. So for me, my position does allow to build into a position, but there's a real fine line between building and averaging down, and this is what happened on Twitter on July 9th, 2018. What I have in front of you right now is a Thinkorswim chart. I'm in the on-demand portion of this program. This is a simulated account. None of this is real. My broker is actually Lightspeed. I like this program because I'm able to recap, go back, and then play the day back out on a on-demand. The platform here with the on-demand, I can play it back out and see what I should have done, and then also show you exactly and show myself where I went wrong, which I know where I went wrong. And this is going to probably be the most embarrassing video ever, but I'm going to put it out there just because I want people to see. I've been trading for about 12 years now, and it happens. Psychology got me. My the fear of losing got me. Everything got to me. So let me pull up this broker statement. Let me just show you exactly what happened. Okay, so on 7/9/2018, I took a $2,157.41 hit, and that is truly the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to show. I only want to show, of course, winning trades and the best of the best, but this was reality. This is what happened. And then 7/10, I lost again because in this day my confidence was completely out the door. So I'm almost scared to trade at this point. And then by 7/11, I'm regaining confidence, and then I'm back on track towards the end of the month. It's currently July 22nd, 2018, as of today. So I'm back to normal now, but an average day for me, let's see here, let me show you. So on any given day, when I trade, this is my on screen in my Lightspeed account. This will be a normal day for me, anywhere from $250 to $300, sometimes more, sometimes less, just depending. So $2,000 in the course of $300 averaging a day, it's going to take nearly 2 weeks just to make that back. So I'm lucky to even be green on this month of July. And so I want to go back to the Thinkorswim. I want to play out the day, and I'm going to show you exactly where I got into this market and how I screwed up. Twitter on July 9th almost collapsed. I mean, it had like a $4 or $5 sell-off like instantly right off the market open. Now I didn't catch this until later on, but I'll show you all that. So let's get right into it, and I hope this video is helpful. I hope that somebody can learn something from this, because I know I have. Anytime a trade costs me $2,000, you better believe I'm going to break it down, dissect it, and figure out what it is I did. When I figure out that it was just because I was an idiot, then I really get mad at myself. But it is what it is, you know. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm going to show it, putting it out there. I hope you guys can take something from it. I know I am. Let's get into it. Okay, so on pre-market, what I do is I like to come in. Currently, the time is 9:09 on July 9th. Or I'm sorry, 9:27. So the market's getting ready to open. So the first thing I always do coming in is I will take and I will do a I like to draw pre-market lines of support and resistance from pre-market, because pre-market is very important to me. I'm trading the morning session, so pre-market is very important to me. So what I do is I look at, you know, the lows and the highs, and this is a range that I like to see for my strategy. So that's the first thing I do. Okay, the second thing, well, probably the most important thing, let me put this out there. This Twitter wasn't even on my radar, so I actually never even had these pre-market lines on here. I'm just kind of going back and seeing what I would have done, but you know, via my strategy, this is what I would have done. So at this time, in reality, I'm not even looking at Twitter. I'm looking at something totally different, not paying any attention to this until it gets called out in one of our chat rooms that I'm involved with. And it's a, you know, I can't remember what the chat said. It was like a bloodshed or something like that. It was like a, you know, a huge sell-off or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that's when it caught my eye, and I'm like, oh, okay. I started looking at, you know, Twitter being on sale that day. So I'm going to show you where I looked at picking up shares. I looked at buying this market. So I'm going to show you exactly how that goes. So just stay with me and let me show you exactly how this breaks down. Okay, at market open, we took the plunge. We opened at 46.74. We made a move all the way up to 46.90, and then just instantly dropped. And then before this 2-minute candle was finished, we were trading at 46.33, which was a breakout of the pre-market range. Now what I like to do with my strategy is I will actually buy these breakouts, whereas most people are selling them just for a quick pop. So if I had been watching this right off the bat, I would have probably been triggered around the 20 area. My first entry would have probably been about 46.20, and then obviously, you know, it went all the way back up to 46.50. So, and I'm a scalper, so I look for, you know, 10 to 15 cents. So if I had been watching this right out of the open, my first trade would have been good. But like I said, I did not catch this until later on. So let me fast forward this just a little bit more, and I'll show you a little bit more of how I got involved. Okay, so I paused it and I plugged all this stuff in because I wanted to show you. I didn't want to bore you with me putting all this in. But at this point, you can see on the screen here, I put 100 shares bought, because what I saw was this opened up. We had this little consolidation here and then another plunge. So what I was figuring was this candle was so overextended, I was trying to catch a bottom just for a quick, you know, bounce back up to the upside, or like a dead cat bounce or something, just to collect a quick 10 or 15 cents. And that's part of my strategy. I trade small, I trade often, and I trade you know, for 10, 15 cents. So I'll trade, you know, 5 or 8 trades per hour at 100 shares at a you know, at a time. So it equates to pretty close to, you know, $80, $90 an hour once it's all said and done, just depending on how the markets are trading and stuff. Sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's a little better. So that's how I average out about $200 to $250 to $300 a day. Is I'm trading small, I'm trading often, but usually I have a very precise stop loss, and on this day I just could not let this trade go. So I'm trying to keep this this video as short as possible. I'm already up to 10 minutes, so let me pause it again. Let me show you. So I'm in 100 shares right now. Average price is $45.75. I like to go with quarter numbers, and so there's that first order. So I'm already down pretty good. So now I'm looking at building a position or averaging down. So now, which is fine because my strategy works, but my strategy allows me to build a position, and that's great because the final result is actually a bigger score of money. But on the opposite side, if it doesn't do what I want it to do, then I'm looking at hopping out and taking the loss and being done with it. Well, for whatever reason, on this day, I could not let go of this Twitter trade, and it is driving me absolutely nuts to this day. This is weeks later, but I am, this right here is what will drive you crazy as a trader. If you do not follow your plan, if you have a plan, you have to keep the word to yourself on your plan. If not, then you're not a person of your word. You're breaking your bond to yourself. You're gonna fail. So let me play this out a little bit. I'm gonna pause it, and then I'll come back with you with another setup. Just to make note, this is at 9:36 a.m. on July 9th. So, and to go back, this is the on demand. So this is actually July 22nd today, and I'm just none of this is real. So I want you to understand that what I'm doing right now, this is not live trading. This is a simulation. This has nothing to do with live trading. This is me going back and just recapping this terrible loss. So don't watch this and comment and say you're trading out of a demo account, blah blah blah. No, I'm not. I'm not even trading. Actually, all this is just drawed in. So just bear with me just a few more minutes and let me get through this. Okay, so currently it is 9:40 a.m. We have dropped all the way back, all the way down to 45.20. Actually, all the way almost to 45 even. I bought 200 more shares at 35, 45, 35, 45, 25. So that brought my average down to like 45, 48 or something like that. I don't know, somewhere around in there. Where these crosshairs are was about where my average was, somewhere in here. And my strategy would say, now if this candle ends green, we've created the start of a swing or a retrace. So that gives me a floor of a of support. Now my strategy says now there's a stop placed there. So if you're not able to get out of these shares, if the bounce is not great enough to get out of these 300 shares, you need to just hop out because the market's too strong, the selling pressure is too strong to the downside, that you're not getting enough buying support and profit taking to actually to get up to this level or back up to a level where you can get out. So looking at it, the thing that I should have done is I should have done this. Okay, so in reality, there should have been a stop loss placed right here at 44, maybe 44.99, just to see if it would bounce off that whole number, or maybe a few cents under, even like 96. But basically, just saying if it breaks the whole number of 45, you need to be out. Never placed a stop loss, never did. So that right there just was my first Just huge mistake. I just did not place this stop loss. So in that is my first big mistake. So let's keep continuing. Let me pause it and I'll fix some stuff here. Okay, just to recap, the candle that I just showed you it didn't end green, it actually ended red, so that would have furthered my strategy, but I didn't buy any more shares at that point. So just to recap on that was my mistake. I was thinking we were here, but we were actually there. So yeah, so now the actual stop loss would have been at 44.60 ish. So that, because I'm looking for this to end green, this didn't end green, so looking for this candle here to end green to actually show me that there was support there, and that come around the 44.60 level. So stop loss should have been at 44.59 or something like that, 44.58. Anyway, it wasn't placed, so just a heads up. So that's what that is. So you guessed it, what do you think I did? Instead of taking the stop loss and walking away, choosing a different stock maybe, or even looking at maybe reversing my strategy, going short on this one. Obviously it's too weak. I should have thought about maybe going short. Instead, I would not let go of those 300 shares. 300 shares. If I'd have cut it off at 60, you're looking at like a $90 loss. $90 versus $2,000. $90. So, anyway, put that in context. You're like, oh, that's kind of a big difference, but it is what it is. I mean, what do you do? So instead, as you can see, this thing just keeps tanking. And what does Trey do? Trey just keeps buying 100 shares at a time until I have a total of 2,000 shares, or actually a few more hundred than that, like 2,300 shares, which is ludicrous. I never take on that kind of size of any stock. I don't care if it's a $5 stock. I don't trade that way. I don't accumulate that many shares. It's how I mitigate risk, is by keeping my share size down. So I'm never looking at numbers that scare me or make me nervous. And for some reason, I don't understand. That's why I'm making this video, to get around the psychology of why I did this. Like the fear of losing, maybe the fear of just not wanting to let go. I mean, it was one of the very first trades that, and not to mention, like a normal trade for me lasts about 4 minutes at most. Like 2 minutes is long. It usually is under a candle. Like it usually doesn't even last 2 to 4 minutes. That's it. So now I'm looking at a trade that's taken me till almost 1 or 2 o'clock before I finally cut it at like $2,150 something at a loss. So I was stuck in this sweating all day, whereas I could have cut it up there at 9:44, or no, I'm sorry, 9:50, and would have been in it from 9:34 to 9:50, and cut it and moved on with a $90 loss, which is easily made back up. Easily. Obviously, it just didn't work out, and that happens all the time. But instead, I wanted to do this to myself. So I started just layering in, thinking, well, it's Twitter, it's going to come back. There'll be buyers coming in. This is looking good to investors. It's blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, you'll see what happens. Now, mind you, we opened up at our opening price was 46.70-ish, 75. Currently trading at 43.47. So quite a drop. That's $3+ right there. So I'm continuing to layer in a total of 2,000 shares. I'm gonna quit drawing the green lines because I'm sure you guys by this point get the picture. The particular spots that I bought in doesn't matter with this averaging down crap that I was doing. You obviously know I was averaging down and the total shares that I had. So at this point, let's continue. Okay, so we are looking at noon currently, and by this point I am like praying that this bounce is going to really go, because I've got these buys layered all the way down here, and I had a pretty good, I think it was like 40 to make me profitable would have been like 44.50. Maybe not, maybe it's 44.50 or 43.50. Anyway, I was layered down so much that it didn't have to bounce a whole lot, but I was showing signs of huge negativity in the red, and that makes you sweat. So here I am hoping for this bounce that just never comes. And what's sickening about the whole thing is, if I had have continued with my position and just left it on there, by the end of the day it did actually bounce all the way back up to like 44.50 or 44 or something like that, which just made me sick. But I just could not hold this position any longer. I finally got so mentally drained by holding it and staring at the screen from I don't know when I got into the trade, 9:30, 9:40, all the way up until noon in one trade, just watching it, the red just grow and grow and grow. It's absolutely the position you never want to put yourself in as a trader, but here I am in it, and just haven't. I've been doing this for 12 years. I know better than this, but I did it. So you're looking at something that a trader who has been trading for 12 years, this is the biggest rookie mistake ever. Like, this is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely just mind-blowing to me as I look back at it, and I see that my mindset was just screwy. I don't know. I guess I was feeling invincible. I feeling like, oh well, Twitter's on sale, I'll just purchase me some cheaper shares here and play the market maker, and it just backfired so bad. So let me further this on, and we'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day. Okay, so the rest of the day, it actually found the bottom there. I was already out at this point. Like, I finally packed it in and left. But then this happens in the afternoon. So this is what, 2 o'clock? So the number I was looking for was 44.50. So that was my average. Or not average. My average was more like 44, but I needed to make 50 cents, because what I actually started doing was buying shares down here and selling them for like a 10-15 cent pop, which was racking up red closed profit, but it was allowing me to average down that much faster. And so it was just a huge screw up all the way around. Like I said, I ended up with 2,000 shares. If I would have held, yeah, I'd have been okay. I was out way back here around noonish. Just couldn't do it any longer. So I was thinking, well, if this right here, if that right there, this area right here breaks, if this comes back down and breaks this area, this thing's going to run even further. So that was about the time that I said, you know what, I'm sick. My stomach hurts. Like I can't do it any longer. So ended up jumping out, and that was my July 9th huge red day that I will never forget as long as I live. So if I had time, this video is super long. I don't know anybody that's going to sit and listen to this. This is really just for me. If I had time, I would go back and show you how, if my strategy would have, if I'd have been playing my strategy to a T, how I'd actually made so much money on this trade that it was insane. But because of my stupidity and my weakness as a human being, the fear of losing, the psychology of it all, it got the better of me, and here I sit, in July. I've actually recouped a lot of it right now, so I'm not sitting bad, but it's taken me all month to recoup that. So I'm just disgusted with it, but I'm really trying to amp it up as a huge learning experience for me, because even after 12 years, I still consider myself learning all the time, and just wanting to pull any kind of information that I can, and then be able to go back and study it and understand why I did what I did. But I honestly can't tell you why I did that, other than just pure greed, psychology, fear of losing money, whatever. I take losses every day, like just about every day. I'll cut trades and $20 here, $30 there, and then by the end of the day it's fine, because I've got so many accumulated trades, and it just works out. So I don't know why on this particular day I was just my mindset was just so stuck on not letting go of this trade. But I hope this helps. I'm going to break it down and study it myself, and go over it and go over it and go over it and make myself better from it. Just to understand that it happens to everybody. So even people that's been trading for years and years. I know guys that would claim, I had a guy that actually I follow, who is a huge, big money trader. He was in on this trade. He bought. I didn't follow his any kind of. I trade on my own. I do all my own strategies and stuff. So I'm not following a signal or anything. But I just so happened to have caught another guy that had traded this and did basically the same thing I did, but had the guts to hold it. And he made like 74 grand on this trade, and it's just like it just blows my mind, like how I just could not make myself do the right thing. That's why I'm making this video. So I hope this helps. If you got any questions, please post them. I'll try to answer them if I can. Just trying to throw the embarrassing stuff out there, because that's what people, especially new traders, is what they need to see. They need to see the reality of it. They don't need to see green, all this money being made all the time. They need to see the reality that they're probably going to lose, and most likely the probability is already set in their corner to lose. So it's all about keeping your losses capped and managing the risk, and I did not do that on this day. So like I said, comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, if you do watch. And I've since created a 100 different scenarios in hindsight of the way I should have handled this. So I've studied to the part where I've corrected myself. But the reason I'm putting this video out there is because I want other people just to see the psychology of people that's been trading for a while. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm done. Have a great day, and till next time.